Well, it's not Pi Day anymore, but 3D printing takes a little bit of time. I finally picked a case and printed it. This took about, I think it was about 6 hours total. And I have a link in the description to the model I used. I kind of printed it low quality because I didn't really want to wait, and I don't really care about aesthetics for this particular item. And turned out okay. I had some of the mounting feet lift up off of the printer because of poor bed adhesion, but that's not the biggest deal. And then I had to do a little bit of sanding so it'd go together nice and flush. There's a little bit of adjustment I need to do here to make this a little better, but it will go back into place. You just kind of have to finagle it. It's mostly just problems from me not having my printer fully dialed in. But yeah, it's an interesting design. I'm not super fond of it. So they have pegs in the bottom to mount the board in, but the problem is then you have to take out the screws for the standoffs for the PoE hat. And well, now I gotta figure out where to put the screws, because if I lose them and I need them in the future, I'm gonna be really annoyed. But yeah, otherwise it's a great design. These supports, I guess, that go around the ports, they kind of overhang towards the inside. So when you install the board, you'll put the port side in kind of downward at an angle and then swivel it down. And then I had to do a little bit of cleanup, but I had a little bit of stuff spiking off of these pins. But yeah, it'll just tilt into place and then sit there. It's really nice design. It's just, I don't know, minor gripe, because now I have to store these screws. And then the top just goes right on over. I like the fact that they gave provisions for the pin header if you're gonna hook something up outside of it, along with it has the slot for what I believe was 2 slots actually. I think one of these is for a camera, and I'm not sure what the other one is. Maybe for a display. I don't know. I don't really do anything with this other than use it for a pie hole. But yeah, it has openings for ribbon cables for what I believe is camera and display options. And I was able to go through my bag of screws and found some screws that'll hopefully work out nice. Lengthwise it should be fine. I'm hoping that when I screw this down, it doesn't screw down too tight and damage anything. I think the clearances that they did have a little bit of clearance, so it won't squish down too hard on the board when you screw it together. And I don't remember what these screws are from anymore, to be honest. I tear down so much stuff. But I had 4 that matched, so I was like, hell yeah. And they're just the right length, because I had some other ones that were a little too long. Also, I probably should be using a number 2 Phillips for this, not number 1, but that's what I grabbed. I think, yeah, let's see, this top cover was printed upside down, so the corner is lifted off as well. But yeah, that seems fairly good. I don't know if I need to tighten this down some more, or if it's, yeah, that's better. That turned out really nice, actually. I like that. Plus the black screw heads and the black fan gives it a nice little accent. Hard part's going to be figuring out how to mount that to the 1U shelf I have. It has screw holes in it that are countersunk through the bottom. So if I can find countersunk screws that will go far through enough, then I can mount this firmly. The problem with my old case was I didn't have the top for it, because my friend that set this all up for me said that the top of the case didn't go on over the pie hole, or the pie hat. So I've been running it without a top. And if I bump that cable just right, as you'll see in the short I uploaded yesterday. Well, I guess I didn't bump the cable now, but if I pull it just right, it'll just come flying right on out. But yeah, in order to put the screws, I'll probably use a piece of painter's tape and tape them somewhere on here, just so if I ever change the layout or whatever, I have options. But next step, I guess, is to see how it looks in the rack. Alright, well, I have a little bit of a mess here now, but I pulled the rack shelf from the rack. I had the Pi and my DSL modem on here previously. Now it's just going to be the Pi until I find something else to put it on there with it. But years of hoarding has paid off, so I have these screws I'm going to use, and I couldn't find any nuts, but I have these fancy standoffs that just so happen to have the same thread pattern. So the tricky part about these rack shelves I have is they're designed for Extron stuff, and Extron has their little predetermined set screw hole patterns. So you kind of have to fish around and find something that's going to fit close, which is looking like right here. I could drill holes in this, but I'm lazy, and I also kind of hate modifying stuff if I don't have to. Because once you modify it, then it's not as nice. And I don't have the tools to, shoot. I don't have the tools to make the nice little recess for the screw head. Let's see here. This is not a perfect fit, but I think it'll work. And on top of that, I guess if I wanted to stack another one on top of this, I could find another set of these standoffs and throw one on top. But honestly, I don't foresee myself needing more than one Pi hole, or Pi in general. I don't know what people use their Pis for anyways, like Pi clusters and stuff like that, but I don't even think I really need to use my Pi for Pi hole, to be honest. It's just a friend set it up for me and it works, so that's kind of the way things are. Because I'm too lazy to change. I should just virtualize it on my server, in all honesty. But yeah, see, this is the problem. This hole's just not quite right. It doesn't line up. And I kind of filtered through some of these other patterns. Actually, I did not do the back holes. If I had more Pis in use, I'd probably make a special rack mount for them. But yeah, I don't even have use for the one I have. So no, these back holes. See, the other thing you can do with these is you can put stuff diagonally or sideways. And sometimes you'll find a hole pattern that works. Looks like a lot of these are too far apart. It's a fun little game, though. Ooh. Yeah, no. Looks like no matter what I do, I'm only going to have two holes, so I think I'm just going to screw it down right here on the sides. If I ever jerk on the cable really hard, it will probably end up breaking off these little wings on the side with the screw holes, but I'll just have to try to be careful. And what I might do is see about screwing down a cable tie point as well. Maybe I can do a little strain relief type of setup. Whoops, wrong end. But yeah, I think that's where it'll go. Plus it'll be kind of nice because on the other case, when I had it mounted in here, it was kind of cockeyed. And I'm not super big on aesthetics, but it was a little annoying. But I'm not going to make you suffer through watching me completely put this together, but I will be back once it's in the rack. Well, got it mounted. Looks pretty nice. I think this screw's a little crooked because of spacing. Oh well. I did leave an extra one here just in case things change down the road. And I figured out a really creative way to hold this side down since it was floating a little. And I used a couple standoffs, a random piece of metal, and then a weird nut screw combination, whatever thing. Basically, these standoffs are all from tearing apart Cisco switchblades. But yeah, now it's facing straight forward though, which is kind of nice, and it's in a proper case instead of half a case. So we'll see how that goes, and it was a fun little project, if anything. Plus now I can see the ominous red glow through my case, whatever those lights are trying to tell me. But hopefully that's interesting, and thanks for watching.